Hello, my name is VSin, and this is an early look at Entropy. Now, Entropy is a game that's currently on early access on Steam. It is an MMORPG, and it is set in some form of future, or at least space. Let's see here. Where should I really start with this? Because I might as well say it now. I'm not sure what this game is trying to be. So, let's do the usual thing. Let's take a look at options. Now, graphics quality is just a slider. There are no customizations. It's just fantastic and awful, basically. Blur and Stardust are only available when you're in the 3D areas where you get to fly around. There is a 2D map and a 3D area. I'll show you that in a bit. Screen resolution, for some reason it's saying 1920 by 1080. I can do that, but this game, I've set it so it's actually running at 1280 by 720 right now. This is alpha, basically, so don't expect too much. Audio settings, main volume, music, effects, nothing too special. Mute. Controls, these are not actually rebindable. They aren't. Here, look, if I press cargo, edit, I press B, I just press the B button, it did nothing. If I press edit, press the H button, you can see that it opens up my cargo hold, but it doesn't actually rebind anything. Again, this is alpha, so don't look into it too much. Okay, let's go over the options on the right side of the screen. Leaderboards. Leaderboards is bugged. I really shouldn't be showing you this, but Leaderboards is bugged right now. Basically, it collects a whole bunch of statistics and says, this person has done the most of whatnot. I believe that the patch this currently is, which is 636 EU, that broke the leaderboard, so nothing works, but previously the leaderboard did in fact work, so whatever. Options menu, log out, market. Now, market appears to be what the game is trying to emphasize. At least that's what I think. So, let's see here. We have, depending on the station, they may or may not be selling certain things. I'm also capable of, where the hell is my cargo? Here you go. I can do this. I can sell order, drop item here. I can take, say, let's take my hydrocarbons. Drop item here. Quantity 30, duration, say 5 days, and I can make this cost 150. For example, place order, and then as you will eventually find, if I can just find out where the hell it is. Where the heck did I put it again? Consumer, rare, hydrocarbons. As you can see, I'm selling hydrocarbons in the asteroid section. There you go. That took me way too long to do. Sorry. So there are buy orders, sell orders. Now, one of the issues with the list, and let me see if I can find an example in this station. I don't think I can. I'm going to move to a different station, and I'll show you the issue later on. But suffice it to say, it is a pretty significant issue. The problem is that there can occasionally be more items listed than appear on that page area, which causes the thing to break and makes you unable to purchase certain items. I'll have to show you in a different station, but for now, let's take a look at this mission board. You get a whole bunch of missions. You just go out into the zone and do them. Right now, sure, let's see, pirate killer. There you go, pirate killer. Accept, and there's a pirate killer mission. That's about it. So far, the only missions you can get are find thief and pirate killer. As of this version, find thief is bugged and doesn't work at all. The only thing that you can do is pirate killer. Let's see here. Hangars, basically what ships you have. This is my auger. It is a crap ship, but whatever. It's a starting ship. Modules. These are all the various modules you can have attached. Each ship has a set number of hard points that you can assign X number of various modules to it. I haven't had too much money. I haven't been able to get too much money, so I only have these laser cannons and this one rapid charge thing. So that's about it for now. Personal record. These first two sentences up here, they don't actually mean anything. They're just your starting stats, basically. You have also the reputation options at the bottom. That is not implemented yet. I believe it's supposed to affect taxation rates, who you can shoot, who you can't shoot, etc. but it's not implemented yet, so whatever. Skills. Skills mostly just affect your various ship stats, primarily ship stats. In fact, if I am not mistaken, these are all ship stats. I just open up all the sections here. You can see that engineering at the top, engineering is essentially maneuverability. Trade is cargo size. Cargo security. Cargo security, by the way. This one's worth pointing out. Now, let me open up the cargo hold again. You can see at the top it's cargo capacity. This is my main cargo. And below it is secure cargo capacity. Secure cargo and cargo, the difference is when you blow up, when you die, you lose everything in your cargo hold. However, your secure cargo is always kept when you blow up. So this is for stuff like, say, for example, what I put in here is a set 2 mining beams and a salvage beam to hold on to them. What you can also do with secure cargo, say if you have a quest item. Well, actually, I don't believe quest items despawn when you blow up, but still. You have stuff like this luxury foods that cost a lot of money. I want to hold on to it, etc. You can use the secure cargo to make sure you don't lose the stuff. Otherwise, this increases the capacity. Combat is the weapon systems. It increases the damage of the weapon systems. So as you can see here, I have 4 to laser gunnery. Piloting is primarily velocity. It's primarily velocity. So you can see torque, gyro tuning, turn rate, roll rate. Torque is basically acceleration in a way. All this other stuff. So this is your velocity. This is your capacitor and sensors. Capacitor is just energy. Some actions expend energy. This increases how much energy you have, how much you recharge, etc. I have no idea what ECM and sensor do. I have not been able to figure out what the heck these do. I actually have no idea what these do. Whether they're implemented or not, I don't know. Whether or not I've overlooked it, I don't know. Asteroid mining, salvage recovery, it's called salvage recovery, but in reality, this is also a type of mining. Because blowing up, say, enemy pirates or something, that doesn't actually create salvageable wrecks. You have to salvage wrecks that spawn like asteroid nodes, basically. And shielding is just shields. That's about it. Wallet, this is how many credits I have. Nothing too special there. Mission journal, this is all the missions I've currently have accepted. There is, in fact, a mission timer on these. There is. But it is not displayed. The only reason why I know there's a timer is because I accepted a bunch of pirate killer missions and then failed all of them when I logged in the next day. So, yeah. This is mails. Mails so far, all I've been getting in terms of mails is NPC mails, quest mails, etc. Friends list. As you can see, I'm clicking on it right now. It doesn't actually do anything. Similarly, cartels. This is how you create a guild. Baron's Fall Capital Station, but haven't gone there yet. Faction info. This is the faction that I currently have joined, as well as all my reputations. You can join Brennan and Arnev. Nothing too special. Let's take a look at the region map, and then we can start talking about more of the game systems. So this is the region map. You can zoom in and out. I'm going to zoom all the way out here. You can see all the lines. So where I am right now is Kelev. Kelev? Kelev. That is there. It has a few stats. The name Kelev, the white Renon, a line that says basic processing and then tax rate, as well as that yellow box. Now, in order, first of all, Kelev is a system name. The yellow box corresponds to the status of the system. So, for example, you can see that there are systems, green systems with green boxes, yellow systems with yellow boxes, and red systems with red boxes. This primarily defines the level of enemy interaction, shall we say. In green systems, there is no free PvP at all. Like, you just can't shoot each other, basically. Also, there are no pirates running around. In yellow systems, there are pirates running around, but the only way to shoot other players is to join them in a defined instance, such as an asteroid belt or a wreckage area, or when a pirate intercepts or something, then you can join into that. Red systems, you're allowed free intercept and free shooting. That's mostly it. The white part that says Renon, that is the faction that holds that system. So if we roll over to this side of the map, you can see a whole bunch of white sections that say Transgate in white. That is the Transgate faction that holds this. You go down here, remember earlier when it mentioned Barham's Fall? Well, there's Barham's Fall right there, listed as independent, etc. These define, again, various things like modifiers to tax rates and all sorts of stuff. Now, the part that says basic processing is different from system to system. Some of them say shipyard, some of them say basic manufacturing, corporate HQ, no, hostile is a faction, etc. Trading post. Those basically are the special service provided by the station. So, for example, a shipyard sells ships and ship parts. However, right now it is not fully implemented. Basic processing, manufacturing, and agronomy do not seem to be implemented in any sense whatsoever. There appears to be like different types of agronomy planned. For example, hydroponic agronomy. That is, well, if you don't know what the term is, that is basically artificial farming. Farming with a bunch of machines, basically. Whereas planetary agronomy is farming on a planet. So you have all these various services. Pretty much none of them, except for like trading post, shipyard, corporate HQ, are implemented right now. Otherwise, it is interesting to at least see that they do plan on having a crafting system, even though it's not implemented yet. That's about it for the map here. You can also create a route if you look at that option in the top right. Just click on a system anywhere and creates the shortest possible route in terms of jumps. You clip this line to clean it. Also, what you can do is, for example, I can select Farah, create another route on top of that, connect it to Ez. Connect this to Ez. You can see that blue line. And then, sure, let's connect it to Bahar. Select, and then Bahar. And as you can see, it has that route there set up. And I'm going to show you what it looks like on the map as well. But first, let's undock, and I'll show you what's going on out here. So loading times, for the most part, don't seem to be too bad. This initial load time, since I just started up the game, the initial load time is a little bit longer, but the rest of the load times don't seem to be too bad. This is a laptop hard drive, so loading is technically slower than other things. Even then, it's still not too bad. Just wait for this to finish up, and I'll show you how to fly around a bit. Also, when it comes to docking, undocking, Stargate jumping, and Stargate jump finishing, basically, there are those little animations there. For the most part, I would say that the animations are useless. Like, they are weak animations, they take way too long. You can skip them by hitting the space bar. Now, here I am, I'm just sitting out in space. How do you start moving? Well, you start moving by... Well, first of all, as you can see here, move your mouse around and you can look around. Now, the way you start moving is by using the mouse wheel or the plus and minus keys on your keyboard. So you can see I tap the minus key, I slow down. I tap the plus key, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. You can also hold down these keys that accelerate faster or slower. This also works with the mouse wheel, so you can decelerate with the mouse wheel by rolling down or rolling up. Ships also have the ability to move backwards by what I think is a maximum factor of 20%, although that could be dependent on ship. What you also have is the overboost option. So after you're at top speed, hold down the space bar. You can see the bar, my percentage bar glows red, and then my speed is increased by 25%. If you're paying attention to the energy bar on the right, you can also tell that overboost depletes my energy. Now wait for some energy to show up. You fire your weapon with the left mouse button. So these, I have lasers. As far as I know, lasers have a different targeting system than railgun or plasma. Railgun and plasma, I'm fairly certain, have the same thing. They're basically projectiles. You have to lead your target, and they will deal damage. With lasers, on the other hand, you have to hover your cursor directly over the target as you're steering around. Now, there's an interesting flight feature called that. What is it called again? Basically, it's inertia drifting. Press the C button. you can see the slight change in camera. Now, what the heck just happened? Pay attention to the meters per second thing at the bottom of the screen. You see how I'm sliding sideways? This is the inertia drifting. It's quite useful for evading targets while still aiming in the direction that you want to. To quit inertia drifting, you either press C again, or you press the spacebar, or alter your velocity, and you will just charge in your regular direction as normal. I'll have to start showing you how to do that in a second, but let's see here. What else did I miss? If you hold your cursor over an enemy, you can eventually lock onto a target and fire missiles. Those are fired with the right mouse button, but this ship doesn't have a missile, so I can't show you that. Otherwise, let's come to a standstill so I don't float out of here. In order to access the menus in the top right corner of the screen, press the Alt button. You'll go into this mode. You can drag your ship around with the left mouse button or the right mouse button. These are all the menus I showed you before, as well as the exit sector button. I'll get to that in a second. If you click on these, for example, you can see that I am enabling and disabling certain ones. So you can see that I have disabled 2 of my lasers and there's 1 laser firing. Also, if you noticed in the background, as soon as you fire a weapon, you change it to the combat music. Of note is that you can actually refit your ship in space. But let's just wait for the combat timer to expire. There's a combat timer after you fire any weapon. There you go, now it has expired. Then you can either select exit sector or press N, get the little flash, and you get out of here. And now I'm going to show you the world map. Now this is the world map. Oh crap, that's a pirate. Okay, so the map is basically a 2D map where you move around. You move around by using the right mouse button and holding it down on a certain point on the screen. So for example, I'm holding my mouse button over that ship, and I'm slowly drifting towards it. Similarly, if I hold my mouse button over the 25-2 indicator, you see I'm slowly turning and then slowly accelerating towards it. So, for the most part, you can get into random encounters like that pirate I was just avoiding. I can actually fight it, but I just want to avoid it for the sake of pacing. See, there are also these spawned nodes. Find Thief, like I told you earlier, is bugged. What you do is you go to the enter button, press enter, and you enter the instance. Let's show you a bit of fighting. I could also show you some mining, but I won't show you that for too long. It's actually pretty boring looking. See here, I'm in an instance. If you look at the radar on the top right corner of your screen, you can see that there are enemies in the center of the area. I've spawned on the outside of it. For some reason, enemies in these encounters are named bot, whereas enemies in asteroid belts or pirates you run across in the open world, those are actually called pirates. Interesting to note. Anyways, let's drift towards these guys and start shooting lasers at them. Now you notice on the right side of the screen there are 2 bars up above and below the ship looking icon. Those are your shields. You have fore and aft shields. Oop. And I'm getting shot at. Fore and aft shields basically deflect damage on different parts of your ship. So for example, fore shield deflects damage that's coming from directly in front of you. Aft shields that deflect damage that comes from behind you. Also, if you press R over a wreck, you can loot it. Let's take a look at this bot. See bot at the top of the screen, there are 3 bars. 2 short bars, 1 long bar. I'm going to open fire on this for a quick second. You can see that the left side bar depleted. The left side bar is the enemy's front shield. The right side bar is the enemy's back shield. And then the thick bar below it, the long bar below it, is the enemy's hull. So, let's see here. I'm just going to blow this guy up. Let's take a risk. Loot him. Okay, last guy. Now, I'm going to start taking a bit of damage here. Let's kill the run. Alright. You can see I'm taking a bunch of damage. Now, what you can see, of course, is that my front bar has dropped to, say, 30% there. You can see my front shield has dropped to 30%. Now, if you look at your keyboard, you will see the bracket buttons. Bracket buttons, not the parentheses buttons. The brackets where you get the square brackets and then curly brackets if you hit shift. The left bracket, you see I'm mashing it repeatedly and my front shield is regenerating while my back shield is degenerating. You can transfer shields from your rear to your front. Similarly, if you push the right side bracket button and mash it repeatedly, you can transfer it to the back. If you just hold down the button, you see it pushes it out at that very slow rate. I've noticed that in order to transfer shields quickly, you have to mash it. For the most part, it is a nice feature to have, especially tactically, because then you can say, okay, I'm throwing away my rear shield to regenerate my front shield. But to mash the button you're mashing a button that isn't in a convenient place to mash, which is very strange. Let's roll a bit. Q and E is roll. Well, I just blow at this last bot. This guy's running away. Let's blow up the bot. Let's get out of here. So I really hope that they implement the shield in a way that doesn't involve mashing a button while taking your hand off the rest of your controls. I mean, thankfully speaking here, you can, most of your combat controls are done with the mouse. Right mouse button, left mouse button, scroll wheel for acceleration, and then mouse look for movement. But it's just unfortunate that they're doing this power shifting using the bracket buttons. They should pick a different button for that. Let's get out of here. After you start moving, the site despawns. Now let's get into an asteroid belt here. Before the pirate engages me. Oh god. Yes. Alright. Asteroid belts in general, they have rats, random pirates. These, I can't tell if they spawn infinitely or if they have a cap. But they spawn random enemy pirates. Oh god. Not this again. Thankfully you can press N and get out of it. Oh crap. Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to end this video short. Why? Because you just witnessed a bug. Yeah, one of the bugs in this alpha is that as you try to transition into a zone, occasionally you will end up having this situation where, well, you kind of can't do anything. Yeah, like, you're looking at a screen here, you can hear the background music, but I can't do anything right now, so... Normally the solution is to Alt F4 out, but I'm going to just try to wrap up the video here. What do I think of the system so far? So far, first of all I'm going to say is that the best way to make money right now is station trading. Because you may have noticed that the stations will spawn certain items, and they will also buy certain items. The buying is actually done by NPCs, and a lot of the selling is also done by NPCs. The thing about trading is that you can basically grab items from one station, transport them to another station, and sell them at a profit. Sounds pretty neat, right? Except it's so severely out of whack that you can make millions of credits in mere minutes. Compare that against, say, running missions, which makes almost no money, or mining, which makes better money than missions in exchange for no XP, but that is also considerably slower than trading. And the awkward thing about trading is that there is an NPC hard cap on the number of items that can be bought or sold. Yes, it is in fact hard cap. So even though it may not ever run out the respawn rate from a single unit, in terms of, say, for example, if, say, 20 people, 50 people started running the same trade route, the trade route would dry up pretty frickin' quickly. So this either ends up being a brokenly overpowered way to make money, or you have too many people flooding the route, and it quickly dries up. In the situation where this game becomes absurdly large, and they need then a high population server, on a high population server, it may eventually become possible that trading is just completely unviable and a waste of time, at least in terms of NPC trading, because player-to-player trading would obviously still be a thing. I don't know. They need to sort out what the heck's going on with the trading system. They really do. But I will say, though, that the profit margin is absolutely ridiculous. You compare it, say, if you've ever played EVE Online, or even just tried the trial, look at market, look at anything, you'll notice that there's like a 10% difference between buy and sell. In here, it's closer to like a 30% difference, even after station taxes, which is kind of ridiculous right now. In terms of combat, I will say that the combat does in fact have a lot of promise. It does. The systems, for the most part, seem to be working as intended. I like the inertia drifting. For the most part, the problem is PvP. Because engaging in PvP right now, mostly due to the 636 EU patch, the most recent one, is a little bit awkward to pull off, because no one goes into red space, partly because, well, red space, dangerous, too much risk, and partly because there just aren't enough people right now. I mean, this is alpha, what do you expect? But what I will say is that I think they've definitely over-crippled PvP in order to prevent newbies like me from getting griefed by PvPers. So I really hope that they fix the PvP system to make it so that you can physically shoot people, but there will be consequences in certain parts. That was a pirate, wasn't it? That was a pirate. Yep, that was a pirate. Oh, I was just engaged by a pirate I couldn't see. Good times. Welcome to Alpha. Just hold down the spacebar and pray to God. So, yeah. For the most part, PvP, they need to fix that. In terms of crafting, in order to balance out the trade mechanic, and in order to essentially replace the best and worst cases of NPCs, they need to get the crafting system implemented ASAP. Their economy is so heavily dependent on the crafting system in order to work. If they don't have the crafting system, then this isn't going to work out properly. Especially since there is no reason for an economy to exist if there are no goods being created or destroyed. Simple as that. And destroyed, I'm going to get to that right now. Because the main flaw with their economy is that there is very little of anything that gets consumed or destroyed. Yes, certain weapons consume ammunition, but in case you didn't notice earlier, lasers do not consume ammunition. No, they don't. They consume energy, but no ammunition of any sort. Not even, say, a focusing crystal or whatever the hell else, like particles for particle beams or some other thing like that. Nope, they don't consume any ammo. So what can end up with is an economy where no one consumes anything. Yes, there are consumable items that will give you various bonuses, like repair packs and energy packs and all that good stuff, but you don't actually need to use those. And in terms of PvE, they are completely unnecessary because apparently the AI went to Stormtrooper Academy. Oh great, I'm in PvP again. You can see how awkward this bug is by the red arrow that shows up on the edge of the screen. Like, what the hell? But yeah, there's a JPEG in front of my face and I can't do anything. So I don't know, if I explode, then I explode. But yeah, anyways, they need to put the trade system in order to get the economy running and for us to really figure out what the limits of this game are. But at the end of the day, this is the critique I mentioned at the very start of this video. I don't know what the devs want Entropy to be. Now, what do they want Entropy to become? Do they want it to become like EVE Online, where you have various groups affecting each other and having all the good stuff? Are they actually looking for a World of Warcraft system where they eventually implement big boss fights and raids and all the good stuff, and it ends up actually becoming something similar to, say, what is it called now? I still call it Space Cowboy Online. I believe it's called like Ace Online right now. Where it's basically the same old MMO, only you fly around shooting stuff instead of doing hotkey combat. They could be targeting that. I don't know. What else could they be targeting? I don't know. And here's the other thing. I've been playing MMOs for quite a few years. I think I've been playing MMOs for more than a decade now. And the one thing I prize above all else from an MMO is player-to-player interaction. Player-to-player interaction. Whether that means player versus player combat, whether that means market trading, anything like that. Because at the end of the day, with the current systems they have, there is very, very little player interaction. Like, the market system is basically, even if crafting was implemented at this very moment, there's just so much profit to be made from NPC trading that there is no point in crafting. And NPC trading, for the most part, seems to put everything at a reasonable price that you can just afford anyways. I don't know. So with the systems currently existing, basically the only player interaction is going to be player interaction in red zones, which I will bet heavily on being like zones that most people don't visit. Most people will stick to green zones. I'm almost certain about. The rest of the population will stick to yellow zones, which can be engaged on, but then there'll be like a lot of safety nets, and I have no idea what zones I'm going through now because of all this damn bugging, but still. And, well, yeah, it's just TLDR. At the end of the day, devs, let me know what you want this game to be. What do you want this game to be? There has to be a clear definition of what you want to move towards. And then we, the testers, can start helping you figure out how to get there. Because if even you don't know what you want to do with this, then, well, what do we do? My name has been Beeson. Thanks for watching.